on the season. Visitors out of the American Athletic Conference: Conley, Epperson, Donahoe, Gamble, Smith, Moffitt, Christensen, Sparks, and Simon make up the opening 9 for Rodney DeLong's team here today.
You know, JJ, that 9-9 record does not really speak to how good this North Texas team is and how good they have been. I mean, they have stacked their schedule at the beginning of the season to play some really, really good opponents, and they are a really quality 1 through 9.
First time this weekend that Auburn and North Texas going head-to-head against one another, as this first pitch misses downstairs for ball 1. Madison Conley is the designated player, the freshman for the Mean Green, a .312 batting average on the season. 1 home run is driven in 2. Here comes a 1-0 pitch. That one's a called strike. It's 1-1.
You know, Conley, just a freshman in this very junior, senior laden lineup, has only started 5 games, but I'm guessing, I haven't seen her, I'm guessing she can swing it if she's going to lead off this lineup.
1-1. There's a big cut, swing and a miss, and an off-speed pitch from Pinta. Maddie Pinta already in 52 innings of work this season has 75 strikeouts. One of the best strikeout pitchers in the entire country. A 1-2 pitch. Hit foul down the first base line.
Talk about those 52 innings. The rest of the entire Auburn staff has 35 altogether. That's crazy. It's just crazy, and I think that's one of the questions that, you know, they keep trying to answer. Who is going to be the pitcher that steps up? And, you know, right now, Annabelle Weidra seems to be answering that call.
A good performance last night for Auburn as they defeated South Carolina upstate by a score of 10-4, and Weidra retired the last 16 batters that she faced. Auburn softball will have 2 games today, game 1 of 2. They will take on South Carolina upstate once again a little bit later this afternoon. Both those games will be right here on the SEC Network Plus. 2-2, swing and a miss, strike 3. First strikeout of the game for Maddie Pinta. Wastes no time.
Take another look at it here, and when she just rears back and throws that pitch, it is just by you. That's a scary prospect if you're going to start out a game with a strikeout with Maddie Pinta.
Yeah, setting the tone. Jody Epperson, the center fielder, steps into the right-handed batter's box and fouls off this first pitch.
Hey, right here, Joe!
207 batting average on the season for Epperson. 2 doubles. A 1 pitch. Pitch back foul.
Talk about those 2 doubles. You know, she only got 26 starts last year, but again, a very junior, senior laden team, so get any time at that point, but she was 2nd on the team in doubles in that short amount of time that she had.
North Texas took on Northwestern a little bit earlier today. The Wildcats earned a 9-3 victory over the Mean Green. As we talked about, this North Texas team way better than the record might indicate. An 0-2 pitch skips up to the plate for ball 1.
And that score does not really tell the story of that game. I mean, both teams had 5 hits. There was a 6-run inning for Northwestern that was riddled by clock violations and illegal pitches. It kind of broke the game open.
A ball and 2 strikes. Pinta delivers up high for ball 2. Here's a look over there at Rodney DeLong, the North Texas head coach, doing a great job.
Coach DeLong just has a vibe about him. Yeah. I'm telling you, the flat bill, the dunks, and brings that vibe to the field, and I think his team kind of follows along. They got a little swagger.
Fouled off here at the plate. It's 2-2. There he is. There's Rodney DeLong in his 6th season now as the head coach for North Texas. 172 and 81 record.
3-4-3, 3-4-3.
2 Coach of the Year honors, taking his team to the NCAA regions.
There's a swing and a miss, a strikeout to throw to first to secure the out. Back-to-back punch-outs from Maddie Pensa to get this game started in the first inning. Locked in early. Let's take another look.
Oof. I mean, that just absolutely falls off the table. When you're facing a pitcher that can go high, go low, change speeds, I mean, if you're in there guessing at all, those are the results you're going to get.
2-0-0, 2-0-0.
Slow roller to short. Peralta fields and throws over to first as Celine Donahoe is retired on the ground out. 3 batters to the plate for North Texas. All 3 retired. Bottom of the first. A big test going up against the talented Auburn Tigers lineup out of the SEC. You see KK McCrary lead it off. Packer, Wohlers, Leck, Peralta, Tresvik, Clemens, Lisenby, and Roach round out the opening 9 for the Auburn Tigers.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a warm welcome to tonight's halftime entertainment, the Recycle Teenager.
At the beginning of the year, you try to figure out where these pieces are going to fit.
Miss fan, like, just grabbed my jersey, like, hold on.
Leadoff spot for the Tigers.
And I kind of just, like, got a handoff, but I saw who it was. And, like, you know, I'm a big movie guy. I probably watched some of these movies on the plane coming here.
Player already with 2 home runs this season.
But I realized it was him. I'm like, oh, my God, I'm a big fan. I'm sorry.
Started her college career in the SEC, but playing for Tennessee. Then transfers and now playing her 2nd season with Auburn. Well hit down the left field line, but foul out in front.
I think she's done a really good job. The more this season goes on, is becoming, I mean, obviously she's gotten more experience in this role, but kind of becoming more of a leadoff hitter. Seeing more pitches, fouling pitches off. It's just a different role than what she's used to.
Tied for the team lead with 9 walks on the season. To your point, Amy, that's what you're looking for out of the leadoff batter. Next pitch popped up right into the air. Wagner barely had to move. Those are the easiest outs for the pitcher to make, and that's out number 1. Fire a pitch in, they hit it right back to you, put it away.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad swing, really. It just kind of got in on her hands enough that popped it up, first out.
Michaela Packer steps into the batter's box here for Auburn. Senior center fielder. Takes the first pitch up in the zone for ball 1. Packer hitting 2nd in the order, first time this season.
Just about to say, we're talking about McCrary taking on a new role a couple weeks ago, and now Packer, who I've always thought would be really, really good at the top of the lineup.
One and one. Ball 2. Two balls and a strike to Michaela Packer. This one's inside, it's ball 3. Patient approach here from the Auburn center fielder.
Yeah, just a good at bat, and I think that's what Auburn's offense has been kind of preaching. Like, just have good at bats. They've been pressing a little bit, maybe not able to score the runs that they want to, but they're starting to have better at bats.
Now it's a full count.
You know, there's been a lot of talk, JJ, about, you know, Pensa and getting help and how maybe she's not getting it from the bullpen, maybe she's not getting it from the offense. But the bottom line is this Auburn Tigers team is 10-2. They are 10-2. They've found ways to win games. And instead of, like, coming at them and, you know, talking about how their offense can be better, and we can look right here, you know, she chases this one up a little bit to get a strikeout, but, you know, maybe we should start giving them credit for finding ways to win games.
Yeah, much better than the other result.
Right.
Here's Anna Wohlers, Auburn's third baseman. First pitch below the knees for ball 1. Let's look at Eugene Linty, the Auburn assistant coach. He's in charge of a lot of the offense for this Auburn squad. 1-1 on the called strike. One up in the zone for ball 2. 2 balls and a strike.
Wagner's doing a really good job here. You can see why she's the ace of the staff. You know, when she misses, it's barely missing out of the zone, trying to work ahead.
Foul back here, and the count's even at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
She just feels like one of those pitchers that when she needs to throw a strike, she can do it. And I know that sounds easy, but it's really not.
It's very useful. Two-two. Hit back foul and into the seats. Bowlers battling here inside the batter's box. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The 2-2 pitch. Hit on a line to first. Gamble dives to her right, makes the stop, and then steps on the back. Gamble, Smith, and Moffitt who will get a chance to bat here against Auburn's Maddie Pinta. Ready to work her 2nd inning. Left-handed hitting first baseman Kaylee Gamble takes the first pitch outside for ball 1. Gamble just made a really nice defensive play to end the 1st inning, diving to her right over there at first.
She did, and she's obviously a really good offensive player. I mean, all-region selection last year for its first-team Conference USA. 16 home runs, and I love to watch good hitters in the on-deck circle, and you could see her while Pinta was throwing her warm-up pitches. Like, she's already gone through an at-bat in her head.
Got 2 homers already this season, 2 doubles. Driven in 7. There's a called strike, and it's 1-2. I think the most impressive number, looking at the stats this season for Kaylee Gamble, how about 15 walks? More than double anybody else on her team.
I mean, and you can tell that she's got an incredible eye. That may have been a strike, that last pitch, but she swings at that pitch and she's out.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, she's getting herself out, so.
There's a patient approach right there to even the count back up 2-2.
I mean, sometimes you just tip your hat to a pitcher, and especially one like Maddie Pinta who can put the ball where she wants, and you just know, I'm going to get another one. I'm going to see a better pitch.
Gamble has a .446 on base percentage. It's the best out of anybody in the starting lineup. 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Maddie Pinta dealing here in the 1st inning.
Goodness, JJ, what a start for Maddie Pinta. I mean, you can just see that ball drop and change speeds again against a hitter that we talked about was really, really good. And 3 out of 4 batters faced have struck out.
And here in the top of the 2nd with 1 down. 18 pitches thrown already by Maddie Pinta, and they've been brilliant. As we see Michaela Smith take a big hack. That one ricocheted off the face mask of home plate umpire Heath Walker for strike 1.
See Lisenby doing the right thing by the umpire. Gonna walk that ball out to Pinta, give him a little extra time.
Yeah. Michaela Smith had some fun words to say. Sorry about that. Nothing in 1 the count. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. And that's taken for a strike. It's nothing in 2.
This is the most I've seen Pinta break out this off-speed pitch this early and this often, and you can see how it's throwing North Texas hitters off.
It's an 0-2 count. And there's another strikeout, the 4th of the game already for Maddie Pinta.
I mean, JJ, I'm gonna start having to get the stars out here to see how many different ways I can say unreal, because that pitch, if it's, when it is working, she is unhittable.
2 quick outs, and now Elizabeth Moffitt, the catcher for the Mean Green, checks her swing. It's fouled off for strike 1. A .310 batting average on the season for Moffitt with 1 home run. There's a called strike, and it's 0-2. 68 miles an hour coming in on the hands.
I'm just kind of speechless right here. The Eagles going to run out of smoke at this point by the time we get to game 2.
The 0-2 pitch is blocked up well by Lisenby behind the plate. Tried to get Moffitt to chase after it. She held off.
And a really good job by Moffitt, right? Because that's the same pitch that the previous 2 hitters did not lay off and struck out. So again, with 2 strikes, that is a tough take.
A ball and 2 strikes. And this pitch misses off the plate for ball 2, and the count's even.
Again, a really, really good take. That is hard to leave that ball out there with 2 strikes.
Maddie Pinta looking for her 5th strikeout of the game already. 2-2 on the way. And it's a ground ball to short. Nelia Peralta fields for Auburn and throws across in time for out number 3. North Texas down in order once again as we head to the bottom of the 2nd inning. Here on the SEC Network Plus, JJ Jackson alongside Amy Reef. The Auburn Tigers with a 10-2-1 record on the season, taking on 9-9 North Texas. We've seen a great pitching performance so far, and we'll see the middle of the order here for Auburn. See if we can get a little offense started in the bottom of the 2nd.
If anyone can do it, it's probably Leck, right? She's leading the team in home runs, RBIs.
This one comes inside for ball 1. 5 home runs this season for Amelia Leck. Drove in 3 runs yesterday, bringing her season total up to 17. Very big bat in the middle of this Auburn order.
Kind of feels like one of those games, JJ, if Penta gets any run support at all.
Gotta feel like Auburn would be in a good spot if that were to happen. Here's a big cut from Amelia Leck. Swing and a miss for strike 1. Two balls and 2 strikes on another swing and a miss there from Leck.
2 really big swings, and I know you can't see it right now, but North Texas left fielder is literally standing on the warning track.
Here's a full count now on a pitch high up in the zone.
Oh, there we go. Thank you. Giving me a shot there. I mean, she's creeped in maybe a foot, but I mean, almost back against the wall back there.
There's a look out there in left field. Tatum Sparks defensively there for the Mean Green as Leck pops this one up into the air in foul territory over at third base. Donahoe's able to put it away.
It's a big out. Really, really good pitch from Wagner there. Again, not giving in with the 3 balls, coming around the zone, but still getting in on the hands, getting that first out. It's huge.
Nelia Peralta will be the batter here for Auburn. You see this one downstairs for ball 1. One ball, no strikes, and 1 out. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That one's high in the zone for ball 2. Two-0 pitch. Called strike. It's 2-1.
It's one of those pitches I'm surprised Peralta let go. She's usually on those 2-0 counts, 3-1 counts, ready to swing it.
called strike once again. 2-2 now. Counts back even. Two balls, 2 strikes, 1 out to the Auburn shortstop. Well hit to center. That's going to get down for a base hit. That's the first hit of the ball game. Auburn's got a 1-out base runner. That's a terrific swing.
It was a really, really good at bat. And Peralta is just one of these players in this lineup that will really help Auburn's offense go. You can see this 2-2 count, gets the foot down, and then is able to drive it out into center field, kind of get this offense going.
See how this Auburn offense operates now that they've got a base runner on for the first time today. Right fielder Isis Tresvik will be the batter. She looks at this first pitch outside for ball 1.
If Tresvik can bring to the plate offensively what she's brought defensively the last couple, even half. I mean, what a tremendous job she's done out there.
Here's a called strike, and it's 1-1. Isis Tresvik robbed another home run in yesterday's game out in right field, playing defense for the Tigers. This one's fouled back. It's 1-2. Her bat's been a little slower to start out of the gates, talking about Isis Tresvik, but hit 9 home runs last year in her first season playing here at Auburn. And last season, it took a little while for her bat to get going. So if that trend continues, watch out as we get further into the season, because this is a bat that will pick up for the Auburn offense.
Yeah, and I think Auburn is one of those teams that's really trying to find its footing offensively, just in terms of where players should go in the lineup. I mean, this lineup looks completely different from day one. It may look different when you get into the middle of the SEC conference, and if they can continue to get better and they can give any run support at all to Penta, I mean, it's
got the makings of a really good team.
It really does. I mean, they've lost some players, they lost some huge bats, and they're really just trying to fill those holes right now, and it looks so much better from day one, and I think if they just keep improving, they will be good.
Swing and a miss that time from Tresvik. Credit to Mackenzie Wagner. Really good pitch there from the North Texas right-hander, her second strikeout. Look at this.
Yeah, she just climbs the ladder there, and you can see as soon as Tresvik starts that swing, she tries to stop it, but can't.
Shaylee Clemens is the batter now for Auburn, the freshman designated player. Takes the first pitch strike, or ball, excuse me. 1-0 is the count. Next pitch to Clemens, hit on the ground, right side and through. It's a base knock as Nelia Peralta will take off towards third, and the Auburn Tigers have runners at the corners. Their second hit of the inning.
Man, off the bat here, watching Peralta around second base. You can see she just gets strong enough to get that through the hole there in the infield, but Peralta around second base, and I didn't think she was gonna go. You can see her hesitate just a little bit, and then ends up getting to third base, which should have been from the jump.
So runners at the corners with 2 outs and an opportunity for Aubrey Lisenby.
She needs a big hit right here,
to drive
JJ.
in the game's first run. It's been a slower start at the plate for Lisenby this season. Clemens will take off towards second. North Texas throws down, and they got her. Shaylee Clemens tagged out. A mistake on the base. Right fielder Kaylee Christensen for the Mean Green. As the first pitch is swung on and missed. There at the end of the second inning, Auburn with runners at the corners, back-to-back hits, the first 2 hits of the ball game for the Tigers, and then we just saw a bit of a base running miscue from Auburn.
Yeah, that was a really tough way to end that inning. Had a really good opportunity to score a run there, and yeah, I think we talked about it. It was kind of a freshman mistake.
You see that play often in softball. It's a smart play with runners at the corners if you can execute it. Bait the defense to either throw down to second and catch the base runner stealing, and then you've got an opportunity to come home and score.
And I think what happened was she was trying to do that and then thought that they weren't going to throw it, and then just an absolute cannon from Moffitt to get the out.
Didn't fully commit one way or the other, and so North Texas able to get out of the inning with no runs across. Lisenby tried to make the play there behind the dish for Auburn, but the netting got in her way. A 1-2 pitch, hit foul down the line.
You hate that for Clemens too. I mean, not to harp on it, but comes up and gets a really 2-out hit.
Nice hit, yeah.
Nice hit, and then runs him out of the inning.
Pinta ahead in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. North Texas still looking for their first hit of the game, as that one is outside. 2-2. North Texas a part of Conference USA the last few seasons. Now they're in the American. Ball hit well to left field. McCrary going back. It's over her head and it's off the wall. It's going to be a leadoff double for Kaylee Christensen. That's what the Mean Green were looking for.
Sometimes the laws of softball are just not fair. You're pitching a great game, have a chance to score, and then you see pulls an outside pitch. You're not going to see that very often. An outside pitch from Maddie Pinta, and is able to get over McCrary's head and all the way to second base.
So it's a leadoff double for North Texas and an opportunity to cash in. Nobody out, and Tatum Sparks will be the batter. Lays down a bunt. Amelia Leck fields it. Throw to first for the out, but the job is done. Well executed by North Texas. Well executed all around, as the Mean Green now have a runner at third.
I was just about to say, that's, as a softball fan, all the way around, that was a great job. Good job getting the bunt down, and then absolutely pouncing on it there is Leck and having to get rid of it. 3-4 for the out and move the runner. Now North Texas with a chance to score here. Runner at third, less than 2 outs.
Sierra Simon is the batter. And takes a first pitch strike. 0-1.
Simon is not your typical 9-hole hitter. I mean, she brings power, she brings speed. It's something that, I mean, she can swing it. A lot of times as good as she is, you don't see this at the bottom of the lineup. She's a threat at the plate for sure.
She leads North Texas with 9 runs driven in, and it's an RBI opportunity right here for Simon. Checked her swing and held up.
Lisenby was all over that. She knows how important every pitch is.
Yep. One ball and 1 strike. The 1-1 pitch is below the knees for ball 2. It's 2-1. You can take a look at the batting stance for Sierra Simon. When she steps into the batter's box, Amy, she's kind of got her feet at an angle, not square all the way.
Very closed stance. Asking for that inside pitch.
Front foot much closer to the plate than the back one.
You know, real credit to North Texas lineup. I mean, you can see in real time the adjustments that they've made 1 through 9. They have not, when they roll it to the top, obviously it'll be the second time that they see Penta, but Simon has not, and you can see them staying off of the drop ball, having her bring it more over the plate.
The 3-1, fouled back into the seats.
I don't want to jinx Simon here, but the game before, she tied her hitting streak, 9 straight games. She's looking to break that record this game.
Here's a ball on the ground to third. Wohlers looks the runner back and across the diamond in time for the out. That's the second out of the inning, and that also is a nice defensive play from Auburn.
It's a really, really big out, full count. She, does her job here, doesn't get all of it, but puts it in play, and then, yeah, tremendous job by Auburn keeping that runner at third base.
Nice job by Wohlers looking the runner back to third and then making the throw across. Conley with the strike. It's 0-1. Conley struck out her first time up. Fouled off, and it's 0-2.
And you see that first pitch, Penta dial it up when she reaches back, just over 70, and then comes back with something 15 miles an hour slower.
Two outs and a runner at third here in the top of the third inning. Penta is ahead of the count, no balls and 2 strikes. The 0-2 pitch. Called third strike. Maddie Penta with a big-time strikeout to end the inning. 5th strikeout of the game for Auburn's right-handed pitcher. A base running miscue by Auburn resulted in the 3rd out of the inning. So now Lisbeth gets to come back up, a fresh count, and she'll take strike 1 to get started here in the 3rd.
JJ, you're talking about Jane B. Moore, and obviously the stadium is named after her, but she was a professor in the department here at kinesiology when I went to school, and I had the pleasure to get to interview her about Title IX on a paper I was doing, and just one of the most amazing, nicest, genuine human beings.
Always advocating for women's athletics, and has done a lot around these parts. 0-2. Inside for ball 1. Getting a chance to talk with Auburn softball head coach Mickey Dean prior to the game. He was talking about all the visits that he would have when he first took the job several years ago. Weekly visits that he'd have with Dr. Jane B. Moore. Popped up there at second for out number 1.
It's one of those things where you just like kind of know where you came from and thank the people who came before you. And I remember when they built this stadium, we played on the other side of 85 at a complex, and they built this stadium, and our first year there were no seats. It was just a hill, gravel, people come. I mean, the steps that it's taken, it's unreal and just awesome for athletes today. And, the ones growing up, we saw the kids out here, the lineup buddies that were so excited to come clap hands and, one day hoping to play on this field as well.
It's a good shot of the stadium there, and this is a ballpark that will host the SEC tournament at the end of the year. 1 pitch is a called strike, and it's 0-2. Really exciting that SEC, being one of the premier conferences in the sport, and the tournament at the end of the year will be played here at Jane B. Moore Field.
We talk about premier conferences. I think we went into this week with every SEC team but one in the top 25.
Crazy. There's a look at the Auburn and SEC logo, and see Roach put this one back out of play. And then there beyond the left field fence is the Auburn grounds crew. Do such a remarkable job keeping this field in prime condition, and they're going to be pretty busy when the SEC tournament comes here. Look at those guys, all the work that they're going to have to do each and every game that will be played here for that tournament.
They have had a lot of practice already at the tournaments that they've hosted up to this point, some really long days.
Roach flares one to short, and Simon puts it away. And Amy, if anything, we're just happy to be playing softball, right? These two teams were supposed to play one another on Friday. but all the games got rained out.
It's kind of been the theme of this year, really, across the country. And Auburn, unfortunately, is wherever the rain has been, they have played. And I think that has a lot to do with, again, trying to figure out a lineup here and where players should go and who's going to step up. They haven't had the games that other teams have had.
Mackenzie Wagner's locked in right now. This pitch is a strike, and it's 1-1. One on the way, and this one's hit foul, and it's 1-2.
Talked about what a great job Penta's done up to this point, only giving up 1 hit. Well, on the flip side of that, Wagner's doing a really good job herself.
A 1-2 pitch. McCrary checked her swing, and she went all the way around. That is a strikeout for Mackenzie Wagner, and that brings the 3rd inning to a close.
They were like, you know what? I'm done.
Gotta love the crowd involvement here on this Sunday. Epperson is the batter, and she fouls off the first pitch for strike 1. North Texas got a leadoff double in the 3rd. Runner over to third base with just 1 out. But then back-to-back outs by Maddie Penta shut the door.
I'm excited to see the adjustments that are made on both sides here. Second time through the lineup, second time seeing Penta. Like, how will the pitches change? How will the hitter's approach change?
Ground ball to third. Wohlers fields and throws to first for out number 1. Nice defensive play there from Anna Wohlers.
And that's a good way to start the inning. Get you a routine ground ball over there. 1 out.
Celine Donahoe, the batter. Fouls off the first pitch.
I don't know if you have the stat, JJ, but it feels like Penta has gotten ahead almost every single batter this time.
I don't think you're wrong. Yeah, it feels like that's been setting the tone. That's what her pitching coach, Mickey Dean, the head coach, is always saying, making sure you work ahead. Now it's 0-2 on that strike. Just so many advantages you get in the circle pitching when you throw the first strike.
Sure. I mean, it's like one of those things. It's, oh, just swing at strikes. Oh, just make the routine play. It's really easy to say. It's really easy to preach, but it is another thing to do it consistently.
Well, execute. 0-2. Swing and a miss. How about another strikeout for Maddie Penta?
Good grief. They should put a camera in here because I am like just a fan right now, excited to watch this. That pitch is unreal, and we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 strikeouts already.
Penta is in cruise control as Kaylee Gamble takes this first pitch outside for ball 1.
Just a side note, JJ, I was listening to a podcast talking about, you know, the best pitchers in the country, and they didn't mention Penta's name. And I'm like,
crime.
it is an absolute crime. I mean, she may be the there are some great pitchers, right? Kennedy at Stanford, but Penta is in the conversation for sure.
Two balls, no strikes, 2 outs. Kaylee Gamble struck out her first time up, but again, a very patient batter for North Texas. Ahead in the count, but Penta comes right back there with the strike. The 2-1 pitch, hit down the right field line. That's a fair ball. This could be extra bases for Kaylee Gamble. Tresvik comes up firing, and the throw in second is late. The second double of the day for North Texas. First hit of the ball game by Kaylee Gamble. Look at the swing.
Big time at bat. I mean, you can see the ball gets left over the plate just a little bit, but Gamble is ready and drives it down the line and is thinking 2 out of the box. Those are the kind of at-bats that can really change a game for you. I'd be pumped too. Double off Penta.
So the batter will be Michaela Smith, their second baseman. First, we'll see a base running change. Katie Truitt comes in to run for North Texas.
This is when you know how big 1 run can be in a ball game. You got 2 outs and you're going to put in a pinch runner because it could be the difference. 1 run could be the difference.
More speed on the base pass now for North Texas. This one's popped up our way behind the plate. It's 0-1. No balls and a strike with 2 outs. Runner in second. Here's the 0-1. There's a called strike, and it's 0-2. Look at Maddie Penta once again ahead in the count, setting the tone.
Yeah, not only ahead, but 0-2. That's a really big hole when she has several out pitches that she could use here. Up, that drop ball that's been working really good. The changeup, of course.
Here's an 0-2, and there's a swing and a miss. 7th strikeout of the day for Maddie Penta. She is locked in.
Facing is Maddie Penta and sometimes gets a lot of the glory, but Wagner has done a tremendous, tremendous job today.
It's given up just 2 hits to Auburn and no runs across for the Tigers. This game's moving quickly along. Still looking for our first run.
And now we're in the same position we were in last inning at the Auburn lineup. Coming through here, seeing Wagner for the second time. We'll see what kind of adjustments they've made.
This is Michaela Packer, the Tiger center fielder. 0-1 pitch, swing and a miss. 0-2. Pitch to Packer, up high for ball 1. Packer wise to lay off that one. One ball and 2 strikes. Here comes the 1-2, and Packer fouls it off.
Just another good at bat. I mean, we're seeing a lot of good pitching. I mean, getting ahead and then trying to get batters out on their pitch around the zone, and then on the flip side, the hitters doing a good job. I mean, the scorebook, it may not look like it with all the strikeouts, but they're having decent at bats.
Another foul ball here from Michaela Packer, who's been in center field for Auburn her entire time here on campus. Now in her senior season, a fixture out there in center. Senior from Chattanooga. This one's high, ball 2.
Yeah, and that's really the first time I've seen a pitch just completely out of zone, right? That the hitter can say no.
Two. Packer started to offer and did not go around, according to first base umpire Eddie Hall. So the count's now full.
I am not sure why they even had to ask. That looked like a good pitch. I mean, maybe because the catcher dropped it, but it was very close without the check swing.
Auburn would love to get Packer's speed on base here, but we'll see a foul ball first. Packer has the Auburn team lead with 6 stolen bases this season. You know she wants to get on and start running. Payoff pitch. Hit well to right center field. That'll go all the way to the wall. Extra bases for Michaela Packer, who's heading to third. It's a stand-up triple for the Tigers center fielder.
You called it, JJ. Get him going. If that within the at-bat, I thought, it might be a double off the bat. Then I thought, it took that big bounce, it might be a single, and then it kind of rattled around out there, and with Packer's speed, you knew she was going to be standing on third base.
Remarkable base running. Look at Packer flying around.
she was going so fast. Yeah. And then you can still see she's stand-up triple, and the ball comes 2 seconds later.
Awesome work from our team, showing you guys that once again. Packer on the move. Wohler drives one to right field. Caught in right. Play at the plate, not in time. Anna Wohlers did her job, and the first run has scored. Auburn leads 1-0.
Man, first pitch and just really drove through the ball there, and you could hear everyone was like, yeah, and then it was like, oh, it's an out, but guess what? It's a huge sac fly there to get some run support for Maddie Penta.
So 1 out and the bases are empty, but a run already in to score for the Tigers. And their power hitter, Amelia Leck, will step into the batter's box.
Talking about what a great job Wagner has done, and just two of her pitches found too much of the plate, and Auburn kind of jumped all over them.
No balls and 1 strike. Ground ball here, that's foul. That's Kaylee Christensen out in right field. And Wohlers hit that ball so hard, Christensen was actually starting to come in a little bit. It almost sailed right over her head.
Those are really the hardest to judge, that are on a line right at you. It's like you're always taught first step back, right? But they're coming at you, and you can get caught up in the middle.
Checked her swing and fouled off by Leck. It stays 0-2.
Then we kind of talked about the adjustments that were going to be made through the lineup here, pitching-wise or hitting-wise, and it looks like the scales have kind of tipped in Auburn's favor right now.
0-2. This pitch is outside for ball 1. It's just the 4th run driven in this season for Anna Wohlers. And that was the 8th run that Michaela Packer has scored this season. One ball and 2 strikes. Pitch inside that Leck lays off, and the count's back even at 2-2. The 2-2 pitch on the way. Leck hits this one up high in the air, back behind the plate. Moffitt able to make the catch for the out. Kept the face mask on the entire time. Sometimes you see the catchers throw that out of the way quickly, but Moffitt was locked in and made the catch.
You talk about that line drive to right field, how hard that was a catch. That was high. It was near the net. I mean, that was a tremendous job to stay with that ball the whole way and get the out.
Here's Nelia Peralta. Peralta had a base hit her first time up. She's looking to claim a 2-out hit here. Peralta homered yesterday for Auburn. This one's outside, and it's ball 2.
See how the pitches are missing by maybe 2 balls where they were missing by 1 before, and this is a tough lineup. And again, second time through seeing the pitcher.
3 balls and no strikes as Nelia Peralta is quickly ahead.
And it almost looks like with 2 outs that maybe North Texas doesn't want anything to do with Peralta.
Ball 4, 4 pitches and a walk. Cornelia Peralta. And she is safe over at first. Peralta was the leadoff batter for the majority of last season. She had a team-high 43 walks last season. Very patient. It's just the 7th of the season here so far for Peralta. But it's a base runner, and that's what Auburn's looking for.
Yeah, and again, we haven't seen 4 straight balls all game,
yeah.
So I don't think that's a coincidence.
Here's Tresvik. Up in the zone for ball 1. The 1-0. That one's up high, ball 2. 6 straight pitches outside the strike zone for Wagner.
Yeah, and you can see she gave up those 2 hard hit balls, and now the mechanics, she's leaning over just a little bit, and that ball's coming up on her.
This one is inside for ball 3. And smart decision by Elizabeth Moffitt to call time here and go chat with her pitcher.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure she's caught thousands of pitchers from her. Just take a deep breath. This is what I'm seeing. Come and throw a strike. You got 2 outs. Maybe she's telling her a little bit more than that.
Yeah, no kidding. Here comes the home plate umpire, Heath Walker, was starting to walk out and say, all right now, let's get back to softball. Pitch on the way to Tresvik, and it's a called strike. It's 3-1.
And there it is. That's why
what it needed.
Good catcher is so good to have, right? Pitcher trusts them, go out and calm them down.
There's a called strike, a nice pitch from Wagner, and she's back in it. Now it's a full count. Isis Tresvik must protect the plate. 3-2 pitch. Hit foul and into the seats.
Whatever Moffitt said, she better go write it down, remember it, because it has clearly worked.
Now up to 76 pitches for Mackenzie Wagner, and this will be the 7th pitch of this at-bat alone. Another payoff. Foul ball. We'll do it again. Look at that, 28 pitches this inning for Mackenzie Wagner.
It's one of those things that she's getting 2 strikes, but now she's got to get that closeout pitch that she had the first 3 innings.
Three balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The payoff pitch. Tresvik drives one deep center field at the wall, and making the catch is Epperson to bring the 4th inning to a close. A nice play in center field to halt.
With runners on base, I mean, that has kept them in the game. Huge.
Dangerous play and
fun
a
to watch.
well-made play. Found back, it's 0-1. I mean, your momentum's carrying you straight into the wall. It's high enough that Epperson's glove is over the top of the wall. If you hit the wall too hard, the ball falls over.
Right.
And then you've got a home run. I mean, it's remarkable play.
And Tresvik knows what, it stinks when you're the one that hits it, right? But she knows how that feels to make that play. So I'm sure she's tipping her hat somewhere deep down.
There's Tresvik, who wanted that hit just a moment ago. 0-2 the count here in the 5th. There's a look at Axe Milanowski as well over at first base. She just checked into the game. Amelia Leck had been playing first. Milanowski, the sophomore, now in. Strikeout, called 3rd strike. Maddie Pinta still locked in.
take a look at this strikeout again. She's 0-2. Last time she went high. This time the off speed. Big credit to Lisenby back there. I mean, I'm certain that she knows the struggles that she's having in the plate, but it's all about a battery, right? When you have a really good pitcher like Maddie Penta, you got to give a lot of credit to the catcher. And Lisenby is that catcher for Penta.
So Kaylee Christensen, the senior right fielder, fouls this one off. It's 0-1. Christensen doubled her first time up.
Feels like the weather just keeps getting nicer and nicer. More people start coming into the ballpark.
Getting the chance to watch a good game today.
This is a great game. This is a great game. Is this where I shout out my father-in-law? Gary's in the park today.
We love it. Everybody making a trip out to the yard. 1-1. Hops up to the plate for ball 2. This is only the second time ever that these two schools have played one another. You got to go back 20 years, 2004.
Hold on. I was about to say maybe I was in that game, but 20 years ago is only 2004. Oh, wow.
2-1.
I'm from the 1900s, JJ.
Decorated career that you had for the Tigers.
20 years ago was 2000. Where was it played?
It's here.
Okay.
February 6th, Auburn won the softball game 7-2 over the Mean Green. 2-2 pitch. Wow, that's a close one right there. And the count's now full. Look at Maddie Penta. She wanted that one.
I mean,
look at the smile on the grin.
Credit to her for smiling, because right now I'm going, you're kidding.
Look at her reaction right there. That is perfect. Good work from our crew. She wanted that strikeout. Here's the payoff. Hit well to center field. Packer's racing back, and Packer makes the catch with the collide into the wall.
I'm just going to stay standing up here and clapping for all of these tremendous defensive plays. Goodness.
Get another look at this, Amy.
The drop step, I mean, just running it down. These outfielders are making it look easy. And Michaela Packer, and she kind of smiling like, yeah,
stays
I had
with
it the whole way.
So here's Tatum Sparks with 2 outs and the bases empty here in the 5th. Swing and a miss for strike 1.
Just when you kind of forget about that pitch, she brings it back.
Sparks is in left field. A sac bunt, her first time up. And this one's popped up, shallow center field. Packer charging in and makes the catch for the final out of the inning. We head to the bottom of the 5th inning. Auburn softball's got a 1-0 lead over North Texas here today at Jane B. Moore Field. It's a doubleheader today for Auburn. Final day of the Jane B. Moore Memorial Tournament. Auburn will take on USC Upstate after this game is over. Tigers beat Upstate yesterday by a score of 10-4. We're getting to crunch time, though, in this one. Just a 1-run advantage for Auburn. As Mackenzie Wagner continues to work in the circle for North Texas.
Crunch time in this one and crunch time in the preseason, right? Midweek game, if they get it in, hopefully, knock on wood, the rain is supposed to come back, but then it's opening weekend. SEC opening weekend.
Ball 2. Chaley Clemens. Yeah, Auburn will be in Columbia, Missouri, taking on the Missouri Tigers this time next weekend to open up their conference season. Called strike there, Clemens. Same for North Texas. They jump right into conference play next weekend. They've got a 3-game series at home taking on East Carolina.
Yeah, I think everybody starts this coming weekend except for maybe, is it the ACC that started already this weekend?
Here's a ground ball to the right side of the infield. It just sneaks underneath the glove of Michaela Smith. And for the second time today, Clemens is aboard.
I mean, it really looks like
she can get over there in time.
The exact same at bat as the first time over there, and just kind of sneaks under the glove. I mean, that's kind of one of those ones that you block it up with your body, you make sure because you have time to get the out, but credit to Clemens. 2 at-bats, 2 hits.
So Aubrey Lisenby will be the batter, and the Tigers are making a base running change. Abby Smith is into the game. This is a speed decision for sure. Between Abby Smith and Michaela Packer, you've got the fastest 2 players on Auburn's team. There's a look at Smith. She's going to be ready to run.
As is Lisenby, but the umpire is not.
Yeah, Lisenby was locked in, and the home plate umpire off to the side.
This is where you have to guess that probably a sacrifice bunt, something to move the runner.
There goes Smith. The throw down.
Or just straight steal.
Is a steal. That was a good throw from Moffitt. Simon just wasn't there. She's still trying to get over to the bag.
I mean,
that was way closer than I thought it was going to be.
Moffitt has showed off that gun a couple times, right? Like, threw out Clemens earlier. Yeah, I mean, she's got a cannon. I'm giving her 1.6 on the pop time.
Strike 1 to Lisenby. Next pitch, it's bunted back foul.
And there it is. This is a case where if maybe you're struggling at the bat a little bit, you're asked to sacrifice. I mean, this isn't at bat, and it's going to sound crazy. That can really change everything for you. Get this sacrifice bunt down. Mentally, it kind of shifts things, and it could really turn it around for Lisenby.
No balls, 2 strikes. Runner at second. Lisenby hits one out towards left field. Racing in to make the catch in left is Sparks for out number 1.
It's tough. They call off the bunt and then just gets under it. Not able to move the runner. It was up there for a while, but grab it for the first out.
Here's Rose Roach, the Auburn second baseman. Takes a strike. Abby Smith is not afraid to steal third, but I think you're a little bit more wary considering the arm talent of Elizabeth Moffitt behind the plate. Here's a bunt fielded by Wagner, and the throw to first in time for the out, but that moves the base runner up.
That's the difference, right? I can only assume that Roach was trying to bunt for a base hit here because you can see she kind of gets it down and moves the runner, yes, but you're talking about Abby Smith's speed. Anything to the grass, she's going to score from second base anyway, and now there's 2 outs.
So the leadoff batter, KK McCreary, steps in. She's got a chance to bring in Auburn's second run of the game.
Which would be massive. The 1 run versus the 2 would be massive.
McCreary hits one well to left field. That ball is off the scoreboard. KK McCreary, 3rd home run of the season. And it gives Auburn a 3-0 lead.
Said 1 run would be massive. How about 2, JJ? She got all of that one. You'll look at it right here, gets the foot down, and then it doesn't even look like she barely, swings through it. It's going to land 3/4 up the net in the scoreboard. That was a shot.
What do you say, KK? How about a swing right there for Auburn's left fielder? A little more comfort room there for Auburn. Packer with the line drive down the left field line. Thought about going for second, but holds up. Well hit ball. That's the second hit of the day for Michaela Packer.
You see it all the time, kind of past the bat. Somebody gets a hit, and somebody comes at you swinging down the line. It's kind of how you get an offense going, how you get some runs put together.
Number 22, Anna Wohlers.
So here's Anna Wohlers.
I mean, you got to believe that Packer's stealing here as well, right? Keep the pressure on.
Downstairs and low for ball one.
I'm just saying that because I want to see Moffitt throw it again.
Right. I want the same thing. Either result in a cool throw out or awesome stolen base. Big drive here from Wohlers, deep to right field. How about that one? Another 2-run homer in the inning for Auburn, this time from Wohlers. Her first round tripper in the orange and blue.
That ball got out of here in a hurry. Oh my goodness. She had to have, oh, yep, she did. Right off the bat, she knew. Man, Auburn's offense, as good as Wagner's been pitching today, now they're just getting left over the plate a little too much, and they are jumping all over it.
Bats have woken up here in the fifth. 4 runs for Auburn on 2 2-run homers. Axe Milanowski will bat for the first time today. There's a swing and a miss, strike one.
The scoreline is really just not going to tell the job that Wagner did. I mean, she started out great. She was pitching really, really good. And credit to Auburn's offense. It's kind of, I mean, they've struggled. They've struggled putting hits together at the beginning of the season. And this would be a really good time to find some momentum, find a good lineup.
1 ball and 1 strike to Milanowski. Popped up in the air. It's going to stay in the infield, and Simon controls it.
Rocks, Kleenex. The Penta package might be forever known as strikeouts.
Yes.
10 years from now, we're rolling the Penta package. It's just strikeouts.
I love it. That's what she's good at. I mean, 8 strikeouts here today. Brings her season total up to 83 on the year.
I mean, you're really...
Well over 200 last year as the SEC Pitcher of the Year.
Yeah, putting a magnifying glass today, this game, I think, on why she's so good.
Right.
When all of her pitches are working like they are. I mean, if she's throwing the ball and every pitch is coming out of her hand the same way, you cannot tell what's coming. It's no wonder she's so dominant.
Popped up behind the plate. And a foul ball as the netting prevented Lisenby from making that play. Simon grounded out her first time up. A 1-1 pitch up high for ball 2. 2 balls and a strike.
You got this.
2-1. Called strike as Simon tried to lay down a bunt. Couldn't lay it down.
Not a bad idea. Catch the defense sleeping, got some speed, try to get something rolling.
Yeah, it's hard enough as it is to hit off Penta.
Exactly.
Full count now. Mentioned it earlier, Sierra Simon trying to extend a 9-game hitting streak.
And for all intents and purposes, this may be her shot to do it. I mean, 6th inning.
Late in the ball game.
Yeah.
Payoff pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. The 9th strikeout of the day for Maddie Pinta, and it's a big one.
That pitch is unfair, JJ. It's like a cheat code. Drop 20 miles an hour, 15 miles an hour after you've just faced 73. Not sure who can hit that.
Madison Conley is the batter here. There's a swing and a miss. Strike 1. Conley is 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts. Hit well down the right field line, but foul.
And again, we have an 0-2 count.
The 0-2 pitch on the way, it's fouled back. Swing and a miss. There's a strikeout. 3rd time today, Conley's gone down swinging, and that's the 10th strikeout of the game. Maddie Pinta back into double digits.
And guess what pitch it was on? Again, you can just see it fall off the table. It's just so unfair to a hitter when you can't see it until the last second.
Look at that line right there. The 5th straight start for Maddie Pinta. And she has had 10+ strikeouts. That's crazy.
I mean, sometimes you just look at these and you're like, oh yeah, it's Maddie Pinta. That's not normal.
Yeah. Already ahead in the count of Epperson, 0-2. How about this? Just quick, efficient work.
I mean, that's why those runs were so massive, right? When I was like 1, if you could get 2 here, that's huge. And the McCrary's like, how about 3? Turn around, add a couple more. I mean, 1 run on Pinta is one thing, 5.
Really hard. Swing and a miss. Maddie Pinta strikes out the side here in the 6th. She's up to 11 strikeouts today. As we head to the bottom of the 6th, it's Auburn 5, Savage, the junior, comes in to pitch here in inning number 6.
Savage's stat line really tells the story. I mean, she's come in some uncomfortable, intense situations, which clearly shows the staff has confidence in her. Be a different story here, starting out with nobody on the bases, clean slate.
First pitch is out of the zone to Auburn shortstop Nelia Peralta. There's a strike. That's 67 on the radar gun. That is some heat coming.
I was going to see, you can see out the gate she's got some velocity. Again, it's just the 4.38 ERA and the 1-3 record, I don't think really tells the story. They've played some really good teams. She's come in some tough situations.
Skylar Savage, the tallest player on North Texas, standing 6'2". The height plus the velocity, pretty tough arm to face.
That's one of those things that's just physics, right? Makes sense. You're taller, you get to the plate more on the step. Obviously, wingspan. Yeah, and sometimes it's just a presence, right? And you can see she has it.
There's a strike, and the count's full. #21 Savage.
I was waiting.
I
was waiting.
Skylar Savage, number 21. Base hit back up the middle, right between the legs. That's the second hit of the game for Nelia Peralta.
Good job by Peralta.
That doesn't happen every day.
No, coming in and like first time
right
facing her. Good at bat. Just driving it right. That's what you teach a hitter, right? Drive it right back up the middle. That's exactly what she did. I think Savage was trying to get out of the way.
Riley McNeamer has come into the game to run for Auburn. Fun storyline in this game as McNeamer checks in to run. Her younger sister, Blaze McNeamer, plays for North Texas.
She's here today. Here in the dugout. I just want to know if Riley's going, dude, how do you get the cool name?
Blaze McNeamer, redshirting this season for the Mean Green. Her older sister, Riley, is now running at first base for Auburn. So a little sibling rivalry. We've been told this is the first time ever they've played a softball game on different teams. Here's a look at Riley McNeamer. Called strike, and it's 1-2. Ground ball to third. It's off the glove of the third baseman, Donahoe. McNeamer travels over to third and slides in safely. So Auburn's going to have runners at second and third with no one out here in the 6th inning.
That's a tough play there. It took a big hop. You take a look at it right here. Karams into left field. And how about McNeamer? How many times do you go from first to third on a ball in front of the left fielder? I mean, we talked about the base running mistake earlier in the game for Auburn, and then they've turned it around. Packer taking an extra base, and that was excellent base running right there by Riley McNeamer.
Abby Smith takes the first pitch for a strike.
And meanwhile, Tresvik made it all the way to second base on that play.
Smith fouls this one off at the plate, and it's 0-2. Auburn looking to extend their 5-0 lead.
And you know, you say it's 5-0 in a non-conference game. This is a huge at-bat for Abby Smith. Like, she's trying to earn some time, not getting a ton, so really wants to take advantage when she gets a shot.
Called third strike
Tough
on
pitch.
the outer half. It's the first strikeout for Skylar Savage.
As soon as I say that, then this is a tough pitch. I mean, it looks a little up, it looks a little out. Great job by Moffitt in framing that one. Probably with 2 strikes, it's too close to take.
So we've got a pinch hitter coming in here for Auburn. This is Mariah Pinta. She's going to hit in place of Aubrey Lisabee. We were just talking about sisters, the McNeamer sisters. Riley running for Auburn at third base. Blaze McNeamer at the North Texas team, and This is Mariah Pinta batting, the younger sister of Maddie Pinta, Auburn's dominant pitcher so far today.
Again, Mariah, somebody who's found herself in and out of the lineup. This is a good time to drive in a couple runs here, have a good at bat.
0-1 pitch inside for ball one.
I'm playing with a good pitch.
1-1 pitch to Pinta. Hit foul, and it's 1-2. Three hits already this season for Mariah. She's already hit her first career home run.
And she's doing a good job there with that open stance, asking for the inside pitch, and then, doing it, ready to hit it.
I'm playing with a good pitch.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Runners at second and third with 1 out. And this ball's hit hard down the third baseline, foul.
Again, keeps driving those pitches down the third base line. You can see as a pitcher, if you haven't faced a hitter and vice versa, they have the heat maps, and you can look and see consistently where a pitcher likes to throw. And Mariah is setting her up to throw this pitch. I mean, she's giving her that inside part, but then ready to jump all over it.
Another 2-2 and another foul ball. Great at-bat between Skylar Savage pitching and Mariah Pinta in the batter's box.
I would think if you had a changeup, this would be the spot you'd want to throw it.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Pinta hits one well to left field. That ball is gone. Mariah Pinta with the walk-off 3-run homer to give Auburn the 8-0 win here today over North Texas. Second home run of the season